Hi there, welcome to BA Consulting Pro. In this episode, I'm going to discuss with you the interview that I had with CPM Consulting in Singapore, where I worked as a consultant. So, in this interview, you will get all the question and answers that they asked me during my interview. After this video, I'm going to make another video for next interview question and answers for a Power BI developer. For this video, let's get started. The very first interview question was, what is predictive algorithm in Power BI? As you know that we can forecast the data in Power BI. So here for this interview question, you have to answer about the data forecasting in Power BI. There are multiple ways to forecast the data in Power BI. You can also use a text, or you can simply use a Power BI desktop application where you can format your line chart and you can forecast your data. If you don't know about how to forecast the data, I'm going to provide you a link in the description section. Also, I have created a dedicated video on that, so please don't forget to watch it. The second question they asked me was, what is ADLS? If you don't know what is ADLS, then let me tell you, it is Azure Data Lake Storage. Azure Data Lake Storage is a solution provided by Microsoft Azure, which is a cloud-based storage solution. It comes in Gen 1 and Gen 2. In Gen 1, it's simply the Azure Data Lake Storage. However, in Gen 2, it's also going to have the capabilities of blob storage. So when you combine data lake storage plus the blob storage, then it becomes the Gen 2, and there are many advanced features. You can pause your screen, you can read it over here. Also, you can Google where you would find all the related information about that. But the main intention of the interview over here is to check your knowledge about Microsoft Azure. Because whenever you are working with Power BI, you have to work very closely with another cloud solution that can be AWS or that can be Azure Data Lake Storage, or in some cases, it can be any other cloud solution provider. Next question was, explain your work in Power BI, any of your complex work. So in this part, you have to explain the projects that you have done. If you are a fresher and you encounter this question, then you have to be ready for this question. You should work on at least 2 to 3 projects, and you should also get to know what are the different complex steps that you can encounter or that you encountered into your project. You can take the data from any of the free resources and then you can start working on that. Next question was, how would you plot time dimension with data? If you are already working on Power BI, or even you have at least 6 months of knowledge on Power BI, then definitely you know the answer of this question. This question basically is to understand, do you know the different kinds of visualization available in Power BI and what is the use of each visualization? That means when you should use any bar chart or histogram or pie chart or maybe a donut chart, then you should know the answer of this question. Please do remember that whenever you are working on data visualization and you need to plot your time dimension with data, then you have to use the line chart. Over here, you can see the simple definition of a line chart and how we are plotting the time dimension with data. Explain your current project and your role in Power BI. This is another situation-based question and which is really very important. You should know the end-to-end working of your project. That means starting from the requirements, then how you design your reports, from where did you get the data, where you are publishing, what kind of security methods you are going to implement for your reports or dashboards, and how you are going to distribute it. So you should know everything related to your project. In fact, you should also know the external tools and technologies that you are going to use while implementing this particular project. Please pay attention on each and every component of your project. Next question was, how would you allow your colleagues to view a data model in Power BI? This is a very interesting question. Here, the another question can be, how you are going to restrict users to view your data model? To answer this question, you have to first tell to your interviewer that you can do it on either the Data Hub page or on the Data Details page. On Data Hub page, as you can see the screenshot on your screen, in the data items list, you can click on the share icon. That means the 3 dots that you can see over there on any data set, just click on there and then you can just click on the share and where you can choose the right option for you. Secondly, on the data info page, you can just simply click on share, which is gonna appear on the top bar. Then you can just click on that icon and from there you can share it. Now, once you do that, then in the share dataset dialog that is going to appear on your screen, here you can provide the different email addresses and also you can check the different options whether you are going to allow recipient to modify the dataset or whether you are going to allow recipient to share the dataset and any other option. You can also send them email notification And if you have to type certain message, you can type it as well, which is an optional parameter over here. Now moving forward, coming to the security. How would you create security in Power BI? If you are working on Power BI, then you must secure your data. If you don't know how to secure your data, please do learn that. This is going to be a very important concept because without securing your data, you cannot work with that. Whenever we work with any kind of data, our first focus should be on securing the data. So does in Power BI. So in Power BI, basically we have 4 levels of security. The very first is going to be a privacy level in Power Query. I'm sure that whenever you are connecting with SharePoint or any other online services, the privacy level box appears over there. Generally, we put it none, but please make sure when you are doing none, what can be the effect of that. Second would be the row level security. I have made a dedicated tutorial videos on that. Please do watch that. I'm going to provide you link in the description section. Then there's the Office 365 sensitivity label, and lastly Power BI workspace security. I have covered all these sections in my separate videos. Please visit our YouTube channel if you are not a subscriber over there and watch all those videos. After asking this security question, next question was, how would you distribute Power BI reports? We can distribute Power BI reports in multiple ways. We can send them as an email, we can also use a Power BI app, or we can also share directly from the report. However, the best practice is to share via Power BI app. In my previous videos, I have repeated it multiple times that whenever you need to share your reports or dashboards, please do it via Power BI app. Please consider this as a best practice. Whenever you need to share any reports or dashboards, or even certain other presentations, etc., you can include in a Power BI app. Can we download millions of records in Power BI in Excel? I'm sure you have heard about this question. Almost in all the organizations, one time or another time, executives ask, hey, can I download these reports in Excel? Can I download all the data in Excel? So over here, your first question should be, why do you need to download this report in Excel? What benefits it's gonna get? And once you're gonna get all the question and answers, and still they want these reports in Excel, then you have multiple ways to do that. The very first is going to be the latest tool introduced by SQL BI is the Bravo for Power BI. This tool can help you to download all the records in Microsoft Excel in a CSV format. Secondly, you can also use the Dex Studio to download all the records in Microsoft Excel or CSV file. The next question was, how would you send Power BI dashboard Excel report via email? That was an interesting question. Well, there are a couple of ways. First of all, you can subscribe your report or dashboard directly from Microsoft Power BI service. However, if you don't want to go with that, then there is Microsoft Power Automate. You can utilize it. With the help of that, you can create a flow and you can send any email to anyone. I have already created another dedicated video on that, then you can watch it, and I'm also going to provide you a link in the description section. However, if you don't want to use either of these methods, then there are certain other external tools or websites are available that you need to get the license first. For example, Microsoft Power BI Portal or Power BI Robot. So these are the two different licenses that you need to get in order to share your reports and dashboards without having a Power BI license to anyone throughout the world. Whether it's your contractor, your vendor, or maybe inside your organization you want to share to the people who doesn't have Microsoft Power BI license. Then the interviewer asked me, what is difference between pro and premium versions of Microsoft Power BI and which is beneficial and why? This question can be asked in another way, what kind of license you should use in your organization? Guys, I have created a very dedicated video on this topic too. That means demystifying Microsoft Power BI licenses. So you can check that out. However, if you need to know the difference between Microsoft Power BI versus Microsoft Power BI PPU versus Microsoft Power BI Premium, you can pause your screen and you can have a look at all the different kinds of features are available with these licenses. Let's see what was next. Do I need pro or premium licenses? Justify your answer. So this question is very much similar to the previous one. And over here, as I said, I have already created a dedicated video on demystifying Power BI licenses confusion. So you can watch this video. And with the help of this video, you will get to know what kind of license you should use for your organization. Then interviewer was coming to the next part where he asked me how to restrict drill down in reports. In order to answer this question, you should know the interactions in Microsoft Power BI, how the different visuals interact with each other. So you can simply go on your Microsoft Power BI desktop app where you would find this format option. Over there, you would find one option which is known as edit interaction. You need to click on that button, and once you would click, then two icons are going to appear on the top of each visualization. One is going to be like prohibited, the cross one in a circle, then second would be filter. That means it's going to filter with the help of another visual. And second would be cross. If it's highlighted, that means you are going to stop over there. So this is the way that you can interact with the visualization. For example, when you click on this pie chart, then which visuals should get filtered the data corresponding or not, that you can decide with the help of this one. Next question was, what is the difference between slicers and filters in Power BI? The main difference between a slicer and a filter is that the slicer is on canvas, a dynamic feature, whereas the filter is a hidden static feature. Furthermore, a filter can define an entire report, just a page or simply a visual on the canvas. However, when you are going to use a filter, that is a filter pane, you would get many advanced features as well over there. Also guys, remember, when your interviewer is going to ask you that which one is better, a slicer or a filter, then you should answer that a filter is a better option. Next question was, what are parameters in Power BI and why should you use them? A parameter serves as a way to easily store and manage a value that can be reused. Parameters gives you the flexibility to dynamically change the output of your queries depending on their value, and can be used for changing the argument values for a particular transform and data source functions. Next, what is a field parameter? For this one also, I have created a dedicated video, and this is an amazing feature. You can pause your screen, you can have a look, and if you don't know it, please go on our YouTube channel and start watching that particular video. I'm going to provide you a link in the description section. Once that question was over, so interviewer asked me that how would you find which query is being used to get data from Excel in Power BI? That means the interviewer wanted to know my expertise in Power Query. Do I know anything about advanced query editor, or do I know actually how does it work? So in order to answer this question, you can talk about the M query or the Power Query in Microsoft Power BI and how this query helps you to get the data from the different sources. You can also talk about the advanced query editor, where you can find all the relevant information and also the applied steps, which are basically the part of your advanced query editor itself. Can you use more than one active connection in Microsoft Power BI data modeling? This question basically I have discussed already in my previous video. Please do watch those interview videos where you would get to know the answer of this. But in simple words, you cannot have more than one active relationship. There should be always one active relationship, and you can have any number of inactive relationships. However, there is a reason that there is an inactive relationship. When you want to perform some advanced calculations using Microsoft DAX, in that case, your inactive relationships helps you out. Going forward, my interviewer also asked me what is a bidirectional relationship in Microsoft Power BI and when should you use it. Guys, I have already discussed this question as well in my previous videos. If you haven't watched it, then I again request you to please go and watch those interview question and answers video. However, just remember that this is going to help you when you are going to apply the security in both directions. First. Secondly, when you have to filter one table with another or another table with the first table. For example, on your screen, you can see the product and sales table. They have this bidirectional relationship. So in this scenario, you can filter your sales table with product and product table with sales. However, when we talked about the customer and sales table, then only customer table can filter the sales table, but sales table cannot filter the customer table because the relationship is not a bidirectional over here. If you don't want to have your colleague to change your data, what should you do? This is quite an interesting question, and I was also surprised with this question. In order to answer this question, you have to tell your interviewer that you can manage permissions on any Power BI datasets in 2 or 3 ways. First, you can simply go on your Data Hub tab, or there you can click again on those 3 dots, and then you would click on Manage Permissions. Like in the last time when we have to share, we have to click on Share, but here you have to click on Manage Permissions. Similarly, under this, you can also find all your datasets listed over there, where you can again do the same. And after that, if you would go on the file option, there you would also find this manage permissions tab, which you can click. Once you do that, then there's another option when you would go and share your data set. There also a manage permission tab over there, where you would find all the direct access. And if you have to create a data set link, you can click over there. When it comes to manage direct access, then again, you have the different options. For example, on your screen, you can see that remove reshare, remove build, remove write, remove access. So all those you can manage over there too. Next to that, my interviewer asked me, what are the things you consider when you preparing dashboards for the consumers? By asking this question, your interviewer wants to know whether you have interacted with your clients or not, or what are all the best practices you apply before sharing any dashboards or reports to the end consumer. In that case, you can make sure, first of all, that your data is relevant. Then you can also make sure that your reports or dashboard that you have built, they are easy to understand. Then you can also count on performance of your report. It should not be taking too much time. Please make sure that each page can render under 10 seconds. If it's taking more than 10 seconds, that means you have to analyze the performance of your report and you have to fix it. After that, all the BI reports are all about the data accuracy. If it's not accurate, then it doesn't make any sense. Then you have to also check the license and access requirement. In some cases, we are trying to share the reports and dashboard with the end users which don't have permission or licenses. And lastly, also make sure that you are applying all the data security while sharing your reports and dashboards with the end user. So these are some of them, but there can be more. If you are going to tell these to your interviewer, he's going to be very much impressed with your knowledge. After answering to this question, my interviewer asked me, apart from design change, what kind of changes do your manager ask for your report? This is another situation based question. Over here, you can answer this question with your own experience. Also, you can ask that sometimes my manager also asks me to implement the security or check about the licenses requirement, or maybe it can be based on certain reasons that on particular reason viewers can view the report, on another reason they should not view this data. That can be regarding the access department wise, whether you can view the financial data or not, etc. So it totally depends on you. What can you think of? Going forward, my interviewer asked me, what is the request of a client that is biggest challenge for you? And that answer you have to give. In my case, the challenge was that my client wanted to download all the billions of records of data in Microsoft Excel. However, as I mentioned previously, first we need to know what is the root cause of this. That means why my client really want to download the billions of records of data in Excel. Once I got to know that, then after that, I explained to them that you really don't need to download it. You can analyze directly in Excel as a pivot table. After that, I gave them a brief training and they were very happy to do with that. In the reports that you submitted, please explain the slides. Before my interview, they also sent me one case study where I have to develop the reports over there. So this particular question came from there only. And in my case, I explained all the slides to them. So please do remember that probably in your interview also, you are going to receive first a case study and you have to build your reports and dashboard. So you have to apply all the best practices, security, as well as you have to show them how you can share with your end users. And you should know end-to-end flow of that. Not only that, you should also have the knowledge of each and every visualization and KPI that you are using into your particular report and why you are using them. And please be prepared because your interviewer can ask you any question regarding the report that you have submitted and any of the reasons that why you have put one certain visualization over there or any of the logic over there. Is there any update or revision you want to make on the report you submitted? Please be very much careful when you are going to answer this question. By asking this question, your interviewer wanted to know your confidence level. They wanted to know that whether you have considered everything before submitting your reports or not. So over here, in order to answer this question, I'll suggest you say no and be confident on what you have developed. If the client is complaining about the quite long refresh, what can you do to help them? In order to answer this question, you have to always consider all the best practices related to performance of a report or a dashboard. So these are some of the best practices that you can apply before submitting a report to the client. After this question, there were some other questions too. For example, what do you expect in this job? So in order to answer this question, you have to tell them your expectations that you are bringing with you in order to get this job. Secondly, do you have any client experience? You must have a client experience whenever you are going for any job. That tells you how you are confident in handling any of the client. Next to that, what is the largest data set that you have handled? So you have to answer this question with your own experience. However, if you can handle the larger data sets, that would be very much beneficial for you. Why do you choose Power BI upon other BI tools? So I have created a dedicated video where I've explained why should you go with Power BI rather than other tools. However, you can also do your market research and you can tell all the features that you think are in Power BI, not in any other tool. If you have to recommend the license of the company, how would you decide? Well, I have already answered you this question. You have to check our video on demystifying Power BI licenses, and there you would find this answer, that how you can decide which license is going to best for your own organization. That's it guys for this video, and I really hope that you like this video. If you have any feedback or comment, please don't forget to mention in the comment section. If you need any Microsoft Power BI training and consultation, please don't forget to contact us. And if you are over here for the very first time, please don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for all the latest Microsoft Power BI updates and videos. See you in the next video.